Live from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, it's the Market Update Educated Guessing Show with your host, Mr. Paul Allen Kornreich. Let's go! Come on, not touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid? Alright, got Jim Morrison, you guys. I want to welcome everybody to the show. Let's take a look here. What a week. With a Market Update Educated Guessing Show. This is Mr. Paul Allen Kornreich, and we're going to talk about what happened on Friday and what to expect for tonight, plus the week. Right now, we got Jim Morrison. The great Jim Morrison from the Doors from our LA. Anyway, here we go. Okay, let's get this thing started. Alright, you guys, listen. Fire up the pipe. I want to welcome everybody from the groups. My group, day trading group, gold and silver, the usual. We have we're shaking. It's Sunday morning, and we're going to have to be really prepared for tonight. That's all I can say. We look for some clues. Who knows what the hell's going on? Are they going to panic this market? Or are they going to rally tomorrow on Monday? That's the big thing. That's really the big question. I saw the news is so negative. Okay. Like I said, I want to welcome everybody to the show for our market update. We'll do some educated guessing as usual. And one more second, take one more hit off this pipe. I'm really getting a feel for the pipe, you guys. It's really something. I really like it. It feels real good, especially with the jacket. Don't forget that. So listen. As you know, I must thank Sammy Schwartz. Sammy, look, today is the first night of Hanukkah, and you can see I have the Hanukkah dreidel. If you guys don't know about Hebrew culture, it's something you spin. It's a kid's game, but listen, Sammy. Listen. Right now, unfortunately, I have to send you out for the last time. So again, Sammy, listen. Here's $20. I want you to go get me some Hanukkah candles. Now go. This stupid bill. There you go. Anyway, I need some Hanukkah candles, Sammy. I know it's the first night of Hanukkah, but I need some too. I forgot to buy some. Anyway, so let's see where we're at now. Let me take a drink. Got back from the fitness. So let's take a look. Let's start with the gold and silver, like we always do. Last week I said, I had no call for the gold and silver. But this, I know they dropped it. Of course, Friday we know was a disaster. Actually, the silver was down on Friday. The gold was up, but very disappointing. But I'm calling them both lower. This market, the gold and silver are going down because the old gold and silver that I grew up with, this should have been up. The gold should have been up $100, silver up $1 with a market crash. People ran to that, but as you see, everything was down. The gold could barely squeak out a green. It's one of the only things that was green on Friday. But my call for this coming week is lower across the board. They're going to drop these metals. Now let's talk about the Bitcoin. What about that Bitcoin? Last week I said higher. And unfortunately, it was a loser because of what happened on Friday. They dropped that Bitcoin. It was down I think it was down 5-6% at one time. It did come back, but look, it's a loser for Mr. Kornreich again, but I'm calling higher. I think it's the Bitcoin. They're going to run to that Bitcoin next week if the market does crack down. So let's look for the Bitcoin to go higher. That's the call for Bitcoin. Okay, guys, now let's talk about those stock index futures. The NQ, ES, the YM, the Dow futures. Last week, I said lower, and of course, it was a big winner for me. And again, I'm staying with this call. I think we're going to be lower by the end of next week. Now, what's going to happen on Monday? Who the hell knows? Well, actually, may have some clues tonight. Sunday night, you should watch the A's session. We'll find out if there's some real panic, because if there's some panic, it'll open down and it can continue down through the night. and into tomorrow morning. So we have to watch that. But so we know the VIX is going up, the volatility is picking up. So the real question is, you guys, is there a real panic in the market? It's all about that. And actually, Friday, with the ES down 120 and the NASDAQ down, I think, 3% over 300 points, the Dow close down to 1,000. This is a very good, perfect example why you got to have stops. You better know what the hell you're doing. Or Friday was a perfect example where you could bury yourself, especially keep trying to buy it down, down, down. You think it's going to hold it, flew through every support level. So my call again for the stock index futures across the board is lower. Let's talk about the Amazon. Last week I called lower, and this was a big winner. They slammed that Amazon. In fact, the Amazon started up on the day on Friday, but then finally it fell apart with the NQ pulling it down. And my call again for this week is lower. It's going down, that Amazon. So it's another winner. Let's talk about the Tesla. Last week I said higher, and this week I'm still, and you know what, I call it a push. It went up a little bit, came down, I think, because of Friday, so it's really a break even. So I'm putting this in the push column. The Tesla. My call for next week, I still think, I love this Elon Musk. This guy's out of the box. Any way you slice it. My call is higher for Tesla. Let's talk about those Wall Street bet stocks. 1 second. I'm shaking. Let's hit this pipe. You guys ready for Monday? That's all I want to know. You guys prepared? Better prepare yourself. There could be great money could be made and lost this week. Listen, when you have big volatility in the market, this week the big fortunes are made and lost. Don't forget that. So anyway, oh man. Nothing like I want to say cigarette or pipe after the fitness. Really, don't recommend it, but it does bring you down a little bit. So listen, let's talk about some of those the Wall Street bets, the Reddit stocks. I follow too, of course, the GameStop. I said last year, I said higher. It was a loser. Same with the AMC. I know. Regarding the GameStop, my call for next week is I don't have a call. A little bit nervous because of the market, so no call for next week on the GameStop. But it was a loser for Mr. Kornreich. Don't forget, I'm not afraid to admit, you guys, that I lose. How many times I gotta tell you that losing is part of the trading? So why don't you guys admit it? What the hell's your problem? What is everyone so freaked out about it? You take losses. The whole thing, keep those losses small and the profits large. That's what trading is all about, you guys. It's not about your goddamn setup. You guys are too focused on that. Anyway, sorry to scream. And let's talk about the AMC. Last week, of course, I said higher. It was the loser. They came down, crashing down on Friday. But the difference is my call for AMC is higher. I think the action, I like the way the AMC looks. So this is an exception to go long with a stock. You want to take a flyer long, I like the AMC for higher for next week. Now let's talk about a couple of the futures markets. I follow the British pound, I called that lower last week. Again, the dollar showed strength. It was a winner for again for Mr. Kornick. I think I've had one loser. Everyone on the YouTube, on the financial sites, they think the dollar is going to crash. Remember, it's against the other currencies. Don't forget that. When you're short the British pound, it's like you're long the dollar. So basically, I'm long the dollar against the British pound, and this was a winner for me. And my call again is lower. They really slimmed. The dollar is showing strength. In fact, on Friday, the dollar held steady. It was a winner for me. Let's talk about a disaster on Friday, you guys. How about that crude? Yeah, I always say, how about that Bitcoin? But you know what? I don't think in my 35 career I've ever seen crude down $10. It was down 13%. That crude, I called, it was a loser for me. Last week I called it higher. You thought it was going to hold, but you see, would have been stopped up for a loser. It was down $10. And, my call, I don't have a call for next week. This did such technical damage. It really did. it was mind-blowing what happened to that crude. But I'll tell you one thing, it kind of plays into, I don't think we're going to have this, this hyperinflation. Now they brought the crude down $10, gas prices will go lower, things are dropping. Yes, we have inflation. Yes, I know when we go to the market, things are higher, but this I think will work out over the time. So I'm not concerned. I'm not a believer that anything's going to crash, including the market. I think the market's going to be a great buy. Let it come down. We need some drop here. Let it get some pullback. Let's see what happens next week. And my last one is, of course, the U.S. Treasury bond, the 30-year bond. As you guys know, I follow that market. Last week I said lower. And again, another loser for Mr. Paul Allen Kornick, lost again in this one. Because it turned out, instead of going to the gold and silver on Friday, they went to the treasuries. Imagine that. Here it shows you around the world, if they were so worried about the dollar, the fiat currency going to zero, then why do they run to that? They could have run to the gold and silver that they used to. They didn't. They didn't run even to the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin got pulled down. Big drop down. So the fact of the matter is, next week I have no call. So that's where we're at. Let's get some music on. Let me get Jim Morrison back on. Okay, guys. Let's see, how did Mr. Paul Allen Kornick do for the week? That's what we're going to know from this past week. Come on, now touch me, babe. That's what we're talking about. Come on, Jim. Bring it down slightly. Give it a final conclusion. Oh, it's much better. Okay, guys. How did I do? Well, I had 3 winners. I had the stock index futures lower. They slammed them. That's a huge winner for me. I called the Amazon short, another winner. And I called the British pound, the dollar, getting stronger. They dropped it, so I had 3 winners. And what I have on the loser column, I had the Bitcoin, I called higher, went lower. I called the GameStop and AMC higher, they went lower. And I called the bonds, U.S. Treasury bonds, lower, and they went higher. So 3 winners, 4 losers, and I call the Tesla, I call that in the push column a break even. So what did I have? Again, I had 8 calls. Half of them losers. How many times I gotta tell you? We all fall between 40 and 60% of the time, right or wrong. I called 3 for 8 winners, about a little under 40%, 37.5%, and that's really it, you guys. That's your market update, educated guessing show for this week, Sunday. Let's see what happens. I want to wish everybody to keep your discipline, keep your cool for tomorrow. Let's see what happens tonight for all your ES and NQ trade, especially on the market. There's going to be some action, no question. It even opens up, they'll probably sell that rally. I don't make predictions, but my prediction, of course, for not for tomorrow, but for the week, we're going to go down. We're heading lower, you guys. We got room. This is Mr. Paul Allen Kornick with our show. What the hell's the name of the show? Sammy, what the hell's the name of the show? Oh, yeah, the Market Update Educated Guessing Show. Wish everyone a great week. And that's it. Ciao, you guys.